This is the comp time, the employees that supposedly, they call it volunteering. If you volunteer an hour, you get an hour and a half back in comp time. And this is the amount of employees that were involved in that. Figuring out how many hours were worked and the employees' salaries, comp time costs $90,488. $90,488. I could say for sure that the county does not include this number when they throw these numbers out about how much Musicfest costs. And what was interesting about this, and there's some people that aren't on here, they're not listed on here. For instance, Seb Delia, County Public Information Officer, isn't on here. And, I guess that's his job. He's the Public Information Officer. He's supposed to be at these events anyway, so maybe he was there working his regular day and he didn't get any comp time. But I can tell you, through a lawsuit that Seb Delia filed against me and several other people, we were able to do a deposition, and this is one of the things that came up, because I was interested in finding out how Seb records his time and how the public can tell when he's working on a campaign, which he does, and when he's working on county time. And his answer was that he doesn't put it in writing. So these people all put their comp time in writing. You see these sheets? This is like the official comp time form. According to that deposition, Seb doesn't put his comp time in writing. He just verbally communicates his time to George Devaney. So, other people I noticed there that weren't on the comp times, didn't fill out comp time sheets, were the clerk, Nicole Dorado, and the Open Space Trust Funds Administrator, Vicki Drake Durbin, and that's just off the top of my head who I noticed was there and who didn't fill out comp time. So either they were there in a work capacity or they were there volunteering and they didn't get comp time, or those people don't have to fill out the same paperwork as the other employees have to do. Another interesting thing about comp time is some people fill this out, and they filled it out as selling raffle tickets for the Love, Hope, Strength Foundation, which is a nonprofit separate entity from Union County, supposedly. So we paid people time and a half. They're going to get a day and a half off for selling raffle tickets for a nonprofit organization. So there's a bunch of them in here. So again, comp time, the grand total for comp time for all these employees to work comp time and get time back and time off is $90,488. The big comp time people were Melinda Zito. She worked 40 hours, and her comp time, her salary is over $106,000. So her comp time in dollars is going to cost taxpayers $3,563. Rosa Giovanni worked 37 hours. That's going to cost taxpayers $1,047. Kelly Coyle, 34 hours. That's going to cost $1,380. And the list goes on. I'm sure John will post the list because it's quite a bit of money. Here's someone that's going to cost us $2,100 for Darlene Balboa, who worked 32 hours. So it's, they call it volunteering, but we're paying for these volunteers, so I don't understand the definition of volunteer. That's not in my dictionary. Anything else on comp time and overtime? Oh, and county employees in general. I did place an open request for all employees assigned to Musicfest, and they came back with just one person, one employee. Her name is Jean Foley. Her title is Program Coordinator of Special Events. She makes $70,937, and we noticed before, pointed out the principals, and this is it, seem to have, this is it? The same name? Love, Hope, Strength. I'm sorry. The principals of Love, Hope, Strength Association also have the surname of Foley. We don't know if there's a relation there, but it's just interesting to mention. There's a lot we don't know.
Shannon Foley was on stage for Love, Hope, Strength.
Shannon Foley was on stage for Love, Hope, Strength. I don't know if she's related to the county employee Jean Foley, who organizes these events, and we paid her to do that. Anything else on employees?
Well, yeah, I just wanted to note the dedication of those county employees. Arthur Kovitz, for example, was selling raffle tickets 13 hours straight on Sunday, 11 hours Saturday, and there were a number of people. Actually, there were 130 people altogether from the county milling around. I guess they all worked the county booth or sold raffle tickets. The listing says Musicfest when they say reason, so I don't think they want those county employees backstage toting amps or whatever. I think they're just, maybe they work that recycling thing. But there were an extraordinary number of people selling raffle tickets. If you go through that, and they were putting in hours and hours of time. And I saw one booth probably get by with, and they were selling those tickets like all the way through. When train was on there, you look at their hours, they were out there selling tickets.
I'd just like to sum it up. The comp time and the overtime that was paid comes to approximately $200,000. Whether the county includes that number when they're saying, oh, Musicfest cost X amount of dollars, $300,000. I don't think $200,000 of their $300,000 estimate is including this comp time and overtime. I seriously doubt that. So,
is it public information? But the Tuesday after the Musicfest, they had a drawing on that Tuesday. Because
how much? It was a 50-50. Do you know how much it was?
Yeah, it was a 50-50, and I bought a ticket, and I was actually anxious
about it. How much was the ticket?
Well, I paid $5 for mine, but obviously you could buy whatever. But they had a drawing on Tuesday, so I would think they'd want to publish who won, and I don't know, it might be on the UC website. And then it's pretty easy to, if they didn't give it back or whatever, then they would have, it was 50-50, so the other 50 would have been there, and we can compare how many people worked on there to that number, if we can get that.
Again, I'll try and get the number, but again, I'm glad you brought that up because that's another example of how cash was being just thrown around at this Musicfest, and with no receipts and so many people with their hands on it. No controls at all. Well, you got a receipt, you got a ticket, but if they didn't keep track of how many tickets they sold, that's not really a control. They could give you a ticket and whatever. I'm not accusing anyone of stealing, but a lot of cash wasn't accounted for. We're going to get to that in a separate segment.
You think Arthur Kopitz pocketed my ticket or something?
I'm not accusing anyone of doing that, but it's without controls in place, without an accounting for that cash,
I was looking forward to it. I don't know who won.
Maybe he didn't put your ticket in the thing, and that's why you didn't win.
Yeah, because I'm usually very lucky at those things. But depending on how many people are involved. But we'll see. There is a public information department, so when they had that drawing on Tuesday, they probably alerted the media as to who the winner was. So we'll check through their new website.
They didn't take any pictures. They took pictures with the tomato and the zucchini people. I didn't see any pictures of the raffle winner.
Well, maybe
it's highly suspicious, because then they'd have to announce how much they won.
Right, or who won. It might have been Sullivan.
You know what? I'm going to make a point of finding out
who won the raffle. About with this is most HR departments have a policy on if you can volunteer 1 to 2 days and you get paid for it, and the corporation will pick up your salary for that. What is Union County's HR policy on this? Because somebody working 40 hours on Love, Hope, Strength, I would think that would go past probably the 2 days. It's usually, 1 to 2 days. It's not a week or 10 days, because companies have to, in a regular corporation, they have to absorb that cost. So you think they'd want to limit that within the county, not that somebody could say, well, I'm going to go volunteer for all these nonprofits for the next 3 months. You let me do it for Love, Hope, Strength for a week, so now I want to go do it for the Cancer Society, and I want to go do it for the next one. So there has to be a policy somewhere, and I'd like to see that policy. That would be an interesting thought to see, because it seems like a lot of employees are focusing on Love, Hope, Strength, and there's a lot of other really great nonprofits in Union County that I'm sure could use help.